Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive, way back in time, to an era when the world was truly wild, a place ruled by magnificent giants. Picture this. 13,000 years ago, colossal mammoths with tusks that seemed to scrape the very sky roamed freely. Ground sloths, larger than any bear you can imagine, lumbered through primeval forests. And bison? Their horns stretched a staggering 3 meters across. But here's the chilling truth. None of these awe-inspiring creatures were safe. Because stalking through those frozen grasslands, often hidden in the colossal shadow of advancing glaciers, was a predator unlike anything the world has ever seen, before or since. Imagine 7-inch fangs, jaws that could open a full 120 degrees. A bite designed not for crushing bone, but for something far more precise, to kill with almost surgical accuracy. This isn't just the story of a monster. Oh no. This is the incredible saga of evolution's perfect, brutal answer to an impossible question. How do you effectively hunt prey twice your own size, in the most unforgiving, brutal environment on Earth? Welcome, my friends, to the reign of the saber-toothed cat. Welcome to the shadow of the saber-tooth. Now truly envision this world gripped by ice. We're not talking about the gentle, picturesque snows of a winter morning. We're talking about glaciers miles thick, colossal frozen behemoths that advanced and retreated across the landscape like the very breath of the planet itself. This was the Pleistocene epoch, the Ice Age, a monumental time when an astounding 1/3 of our Earth's surface lay buried beneath towering sheets of ice. Sea levels plummeted, dropping by an astonishing 400 feet. The climate swung wildly, often unpredictably, between periods of absolutely brutal, bone-chilling cold and brief, almost deceptive stretches of temporary warmth. It was a world that would kill the unprepared in mere hours, a harsh, unforgiving crucible. But here's the fascinating twist. For those who could adapt, for those who truly embraced the challenge, it was paradise. Endless, sprawling grasslands stretched across entire continents, offering a bountiful feast. Herds of megafauna, these incredible giant animals, numbered not in thousands, but in the millions. And right at the very pinnacle of this frozen food chain, ruling supreme, sat a dynasty of predators that would dominate for over 2 million years. Yes, you guessed it, the magnificent, enigmatic saber-toothed cats. But first, let's clear up a few misconceptions, because honestly, everything you've probably seen in movies about these incredible creatures, most of it is, well, mostly wrong. They weren't tigers, not even close. In fact, they weren't related to modern big cats any more than you're related to your cousin twice removed. Their scientific name, the one that really counts, is Smilodon. There were actually 3 distinct species, but the most famous, the one that truly captivates our imagination, is Smilodon fatalis. And here's another shocker. They didn't roar like lions. Their vocal structure was fundamentally different. Instead, try to imagine a deep, resonating growl, so powerful that you wouldn't just hear it with your ears. You would feel it reverberating in your chest first, a primal rumble that spoke of immense power. And contrary to popular belief, they weren't solitary hunters, stalking alone in the shadows. Evidence strongly suggests they hunted in sophisticated groups, much like modern wolves or lions. They even cared for injured pack members, demonstrating complex social structures and a level of cooperation that might surprise you. And those incredible fangs? The ones that make them so iconic? They weren't designed for biting through thick bone. That's a common misconception. Instead, they were precision instruments. Think of them as incredibly specialized surgical knives, honed and perfected by millions of years of relentless evolution. This wasn't some brute force predator, relying solely on raw power. This was a specialist, a master of its craft. The apex predator of the Ice Age wasn't just barely surviving in that harsh world. It was absolutely thriving, a testament to its incredible adaptability and unique hunting strategy. Now, close your eyes for a moment and truly imagine seeing one of these magnificent creatures for the very first time. You're standing right at the edge of a vast grassland, just as the sun begins to peek over the horizon at dawn. A crisp, biting frost covers absolutely everything around you, glistening in the nascent light. Your breath hangs in the frigid air, forming little white clouds with every exhale. Then, movement. It's low to the ground, incredibly muscular, shoulders that look as broad and powerful as a boulder. Its coat is thick, designed for the brutal cold of winter, a rich golden brown, dappled with spots that seem to blur and melt into the deep shadows of the landscape. And then, slowly, deliberately, it turns its head. Those eyes, amber, ancient, calculating, intelligent. They fix on something in the distance, assessing, planning, and just below them, the fangs, 7 inches of curved, terrifyingly serrated ivory, protruding from its upper jaw like the majestic, deadly sabers of ancient warriors, instruments of both awe and fear. This, my friends, was Smilodon fatalis, the true saber-toothed cat. 500 pounds of pure muscle, strategic brilliance, and the absolute pinnacle of evolutionary perfection. And you, in that moment, standing there, you would either be a respected, essential part of its powerful pack, or you would, quite simply, be its next prey. What an incredible journey through time. I hope you've enjoyed learning about these phenomenal creatures as much as I have sharing their story. If you found this dive into the Ice Age fascinating, please hit that like button, share this video with your fellow history and animal enthusiasts, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Today we're diving deep into the Ice Age to uncover the secrets of one of history's most iconic predators, the Smilodon, often called the saber-toothed cat. But forget everything you think you know, because this wasn't just a big cat with big teeth. This was a marvel of evolutionary engineering, a precision killing machine designed for a world we can barely imagine. Get ready, because we're about to explore the incredible truth behind those legendary fangs. Let's start with those magnificent teeth. 7 inches long, curved like ancient scimitars, flattened like blades, and serrated on both edges. Absolutely terrifying, right? But here's the surprising twist. They were actually quite fragile. Relatively speaking, of course. Those incredible fangs could snap if used incorrectly. They weren't built to crush through thick bone like a modern lion or tiger would. So, if they were so delicate, why have them at all? Because Smilodon didn't need to crush. It needed to kill, quickly, efficiently. These fangs were precision instruments designed for one very specific kill method, the throat bite. But not just any throat bite. Smilodon had an extraordinary ability to open its jaws a staggering 120 degrees. That's nearly double what a modern lion can do. This extreme gape allowed it to avoid the prey's bones entirely. The fangs would slide past the jaw, through the neck muscles, and with one surgical strike, sever the windpipe and the carotid artery. Death in mere seconds, minimal struggle, no broken teeth. This wasn't brutality. It was biological precision engineering. Evolution had created the perfect, specialized killing tool. But those fangs were only part of the story. Smilodon was built like a heavyweight wrestler, not a champion sprinter. Imagine a cat weighing up to 600 pounds, that S heavier than any modern big cat we know today. Its forelimbs were colossal, thick with muscle, ending in paws the size of dinner plates, equipped with retractable claws that worked like grappling hooks. And its shoulders? Incredibly powerful. This build wasn't for running down prey across miles of open plains. It was designed for one explosive purpose, the takedown. Modern lions chase, leopards climb, cheetahs sprint. Smilodon ambushed. It was the ultimate stealth hunter. It would wait, patient, hidden in tall grass or behind rocks, watching, calculating. And when that perfect moment arrived, perhaps a young mammoth strayed too far from the herd, or a bison stumbled, Smilodon would explode from cover. Those powerful forelimbs would grapple the prey, pulling it down, holding it immobile. And then, the bite. This cat wasn't built for the chase. It was built for the kill. A quick, decisive end to the struggle. So, why this specific design? Why not evolve to be faster, or have a super strong bite force like a hyena? The answer lies in the intense competition of the Ice Age. This was an evolutionary arms race where prey animals were getting larger, thicker-skinned, and far more dangerous. We're talking mammoths with tusks that could impale a predator in an instant, bison with horns like lethal spears, and giant ground sloths with claws like scythes. Standard predator tactics simply wouldn't work. You couldn't just bite and hope for the best. You couldn't chase for hours, risking injury or exhaustion. You needed a weapon that could end the fight before it even truly began. And that, my friends, is exactly what Smilodon evolved into. While other predators developed endurance or incredible speed, Smilodon evolved for absolute lethality. One strike, one kill. It was pure survival in a challenging world. In an age dominated by colossal creatures, the saber-toothed cat became the ultimate giant killer, a specialized predator perfectly adapted to its formidable environment. Now imagine trying to hunt a mammoth. An adult woolly mammoth weighed around 6 tons. They traveled in protective herds and had tusks that could deliver a fatal blow with a single swing. The answer? You don't hunt a mammoth alone. Evidence from fossil sites, like the La Brea tar pits, strongly suggests that Smilodon hunted cooperatively. Think like modern lions, but with some critical differences and even more dangerous prey. Their strategy was brilliant. Identify the vulnerable, the young, the sick, the separated. Then, they'd coordinate. Multiple Smilodon would approach from different angles, creating confusion and dividing the herd's attention. One cat might draw the adult mammoths away, while others closed in on the target. When the moment came, the attack was swift and brutal. One cat would leap onto the prey's back, claws digging deep, while another would go for the legs, toppling it. And then, the precision kill bite. Precise, lethal, final. This wasn't mindless aggression. This was tactics, strategy, and intelligence. And for millions of years, it worked, cementing Smilodon's place at the top of the food chain. But Smilodon wasn't alone at the top of the Ice Age food chain. The Pleistocene was crowded with apex predators, each fighting for the same precious resources, each willing to kill to defend their territory. Imagine dire wolves, larger and stronger than modern wolves, hunting in packs of 30 or more. American lions, a quarter larger than African lions, with similar social structures. And the colossal short-faced bears, standing 12 feet tall on their hind legs, the largest terrestrial predator of the era. And each one of these formidable creatures saw Smilodon as either intense competition or potentially even a meal. Fossil evidence from Smilodon remains shows injuries consistent with combat, broken ribs, fractured limbs, and skull trauma. Life wasn't just about hunting. It was about defending kills, protecting territory, and surviving dangerous encounters with creatures equally desperate and equally powerful. Every day was a battle. Every night was a risk. And through it all, Smilodon endured, a testament to its incredible adaptability. To truly understand Smilodon, you have to understand its world. The Pleistocene ecosystem was unlike anything that exists today. It was truly an age of giants. We had Columbian mammoths, woolly mammoths, mastodons, and giant ground sloths weighing 4 tons. There were ancient bison with 6-foot horn spans, enormous camels, horses, and even glyptodonts, armored cars with clubs for tails. This incredible abundance of megafauna created a unique ecological balance. There was enough prey to support multiple apex predators, and enough danger to keep populations in check. Smilodon wasn't just a predator, it was a key species, a crucial regulator of its environment. By targeting the weak and the sick, it helped keep the massive herds healthy and strong. By competing with other top predators, it helped maintain the delicate balance of the entire ecosystem. Remove Smilodon from this equation, and the entire system would shift dramatically, which, as we'll discuss in future videos, is exactly what eventually happened at the end of the Ice Age. The Smilodon story is a fascinating glimpse into a powerful and awe-inspiring animal. It reminds us that evolution creates truly incredible solutions to the challenges of survival. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the Ice Age. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible Smilodon, please hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating content, and let me know in the comments what ancient animal you'd like to explore next. Your support helps this channel grow, and I truly appreciate every one of you. See you in the next video. It's a spot where the ancient past dramatically collides with the present, revealing secrets untold for thousands of years. We're talking about the La Brea tar pits. Now imagine this. For the last 50,000 years, natural asphalt has been slowly seeping up to the surface here. It forms these sticky, dark pools, often disguised by a thin layer of water or dust. To thirsty animals, they looked like a refreshing drink on a hot day. But it was a deadly deception. Animals would approach to drink, and then tragically they'd become trapped. Their desperate struggles, in turn, would attract predators looking for an easy meal, who would then also become ensnared. This grim natural trap created something truly astonishing, the richest Ice Age fossil site in the entire world. It's an unparalleled window into a prehistoric ecosystem. And among the most iconic creatures found here is the mighty Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat. They've recovered over 2,000 individual Smilodon specimens from La Brea, more than any other large predator. Which begs the question, why so many? Well, the answer reveals something truly fascinating about these ancient hunters. Smilodon was social. When one pack member became trapped, others didn't just abandon it. They came to help. And in their attempt to rescue a friend, they too often became trapped themselves. Now, for those individual Smilodons, this was an unimaginable tragedy. But for us, today, it's an incredible gift. Every single bone recovered tells a story. Paleontologists examining these Smilodon fossils have uncovered astonishing details about their lives, giving us insights we might never have had otherwise. We see evidence of healed fractures, showing that these majestic cats survived serious injuries. And this is key. Surviving a broken bone in the wild, especially as a predator, would have been nearly impossible alone. It means others in their pack must have brought them food, cared for them, protected them while they healed. Think about that for a moment. Social bonds, empathy, complex behavior, all playing out amongst these incredible prehistoric creatures. It really makes you rethink what you thought you knew about ancient animals. Beyond injuries, wear patterns on their teeth reveal so much about their diet and their hunting methods. Chemical analysis of their bones shows us what they ate, where they lived, how they grew from cubs to powerful adults. Scientists can even identify their last meals through microscopic analysis, giving us a literal snapshot of their final moments. From scattered bones pulled from ancient tar, we've managed to reconstruct an entire species, their behavior, their ecology, their world. Science has truly given a voice to creatures that have been silent for 13,000 years. It's mind-blowing. Now, if you look at a modern lion, you can see some clear similarities to Smilodon, but also some striking differences. Both were ambush predators, both social, and both sat at the very top of their food chains. But Smilodon took these traits to extremes. They were more robust, more specialized, and perfectly adapted to their specific environment. This is a classic example of what scientists call convergent evolution. It's when different species, often unrelated, develop similar solutions to similar environmental problems. The saber-toothed design itself, those iconic long canines, actually evolved at least 5 separate times in mammalian history, in different families, on different continents. Why? Because it works. When you have large prey and need to deliver precise, lethal bites, long canines are an incredibly effective solution. Smilodon fatalis was simply the most successful version, the absolute pinnacle of a design millions of years in the making. But then, around 15,000 years ago, the world began to change dramatically. The massive glaciers of the Ice Age started to retreat, and global temperatures rose. The vast grasslands that supported the colossal megafauna herds, the Smilodon's primary food source, began to shrink. Forests expanded, altering the landscape. The very environment Smilodon had thrived in for millions of years was slowly disappearing, and with it, their prey. Mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths. One by one, they vanished. Not overnight, of course, but over centuries their populations dwindled. Herds became scattered, and hunting became incredibly difficult. Smilodon had evolved to be the perfect predator for a specific world, a specific set of conditions. But when that world changed, Its specialized adaptations, once strengths, suddenly became liabilities. Those incredibly powerful builds, less useful when prey was faster and more dispersed. Those precision fangs, they became overkill for smaller, faster prey, and frankly, quite fragile during desperate, chaotic hunts against animals they weren't designed for. The perfect predator, in essence, became obsolete. And then, there were us, humans. We arrived in North America around 15,000 years ago, armed with spears, fire, incredible intelligence, and powerful social cooperation. Did we directly hunt Smilodon? Probably not often. Why risk tangling with such a dangerous animal when there were easier targets? But we definitely hunted the same prey, and we were efficient. Humans could adapt. We could change tactics, use tools, plan ahead. Smilodon had spent millions of years perfecting one particular hunting method. Humans, however, could invent a new one every generation. The competition, frankly, wasn't fair. We don't know exactly how much humans contributed to Smilodon's extinction. Climate change was clearly the primary driver, drastically reshaping their world. But we were there, at the end, watching the shadow fade. Imagine the last one. Maybe it was alone, its pack long gone. Perhaps it was old, scarred, struggling to hunt in a landscape it barely recognized. The herds were gone, the familiar sounds replaced by unfamiliar ones. It lies down in the grass, amber eyes dimming, breath slowing. And with its last breath, 2 million years of evolutionary success, of a species that had conquered its world, came to an end. Around 10,000 BC, Smilodon fatalis went extinct, along with a staggering 80% of North American megafauna. The shadow of the saber-toothed disappeared from the earth. But not from memory. Never from memory. Today, no animal walks the earth with fangs quite like Smilodon. The ecological niche it filled is gone. The world it dominated is gone. But its incredible legacy remains. You see it in museums where children press their faces to the glass, staring in wonder at those magnificent fangs. It's evident in the La Brea tar pits themselves, where new discoveries are still being made, constantly adding to our understanding. It echoes through every documentary, every book, every story about the Ice Age. Smilodon reminds us that evolution creates miracles, that life adapts in incredible, often unexpected ways. It reminds us that even the most successful species, the most perfectly adapted, can vanish when their world changes irrevocably. It reminds us that we share this planet with a history far deeper and stranger than we often remember. And maybe, just maybe, it reminds us to appreciate what we have today, before it too becomes a shadow. The reign of the saber-tooth is over, but its story, that will echo forever. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible stories from our planet's past and present, and let me know in the comments what ancient creature you'd like to learn about next. See you in the next video.